Hello.
Hello.
Great Day Podcast 780. Hello.
Hello. How are you, Suze?
Great. Really
great.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
I am.
Yeah.
Everything.
What's your secret?
The secret is, I think, remember how last year was probably the most challenging year of my life in many ways because of Adam's accident and other things.
Oh, God.
And the silver lining of that pain is that you have to get serious about figuring out how your life needs to be structured. And I do think we were able to make some significant alterations that have been successful.
Yeah.
And it does put things in perspective too when somebody has a brain injury.
Oh my God. I mean,
you realize
I'll never forget that moment.
No.
And I know you won't either.
No. Yeah. And in hindsight, it's almost worse because I know what the aftershocks were, on our life and our business and all that. So I'm just I don't know, knock on wood. I feel like we have some perspective now. Thank God.
Yeah. And that does kind of make you sort everything out and go, this is what I want to focus on.
And maybe, your surgery what is the date of it?
The 23rd.
And this comes out on the 22nd.
Oh, my goodness.
Right. So this is the timing is that maybe this is your equivalent. You'll be forced.
I am already. It has made me think about my body so
your life
much. Yeah. Every single piece of food or stuff that goes in it. I even thought I do a lot of dip nails, do my own nails and gel nails and stuff. And I'm like, how good are these chemicals to be breathing? I mean, I'm wearing a mask, but I don't know about that long. Maybe we just are limiting, are more aware of what we expose our body to in all different ways, because when it stops working right or how it used to,
I'm telling you,
it's a shocker. Mm-hmm. It's what?
It's just a bummer.
I didn't ask for that.
It's a bummer because so when you're making a choice, let's say you're saying, right here, I have my wine. Mm-hmm. Okay, wine is poison, right? Right. So you're making a choice when you do certain things and you think cost benefit.
Yes.
But we're operating without all the facts. So if we could do the Scrooge 3 ghost thing and go in the future and see, oh, wait, this choice had this effect, we would change it.
Right.
We're guessing over here. We're gambling.
Totally. And it feels like about 38, I am starting to feel or see the signs of ways that I made habits or decisions back in my 20s of oh, this is my sleep schedule, or this is my habits around drinking, or my habits around drinking water or exercising or whatever.
How I spend my time. Yeah.
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 And I'm like, wow, I would like to make different habits now. So when I'm 50,
live and learn. That's the lesson.
Different, Mm-hmm. So that is, that's.
Well, I told you, my love for old gossip, which really is my love for old stuff, and how I see how these people died, that I'm obsessed with, and how, I told you, when I see Johnny Carson smoking, I'm like, don't do it, or whatever, or if it's alcohol or whatever, and you just think, oh, if they knew, they wouldn't have done it, but we're all in the same boat,
all of us, right,
and it's a real pickle.
Yes.
The human condition, baby.
It really is. I'll tell you what had me think a lot about what the body is capable and aging and all that is, did you see the movie on Netflix, Naiad?
No.
Okay. I had not even heard of this story, and I am so sad to say that I hadn't heard. I wish I well, here we are. So the story, or this doc, it's a what do you call it? Like historical fiction, I guess, but not like, it's a real story, but with Jodie Foster and
yeah, I've seen her. She looks interesting in it.
Oh, she is such a freaking badass. And who is the other woman who plays her? Annette Bening.
Yeah.
And Annette Bening plays Diana Nyad, who's a real person.
Oh, yeah, I started it, The Swimmer.
It's so fucking good. You have to see it, Susie. This is what I'm serious about.
I turned it off because I thought it was a documentary, and then I'm like, oh, this is fiction.
You have
or not
to see
fiction,
it
but
because
this is a dramatization.
It's totally real, like true to. And the woman who plays, or the woman who Jodie Foster is playing, says Jodie Foster was so accurate to her that she felt like she was watching video of herself. She's like, that is so trippy.
Yeah.
This woman, Diana Nyad, and her, now I don't remember Jodie Foster's characters.
Yeah, but they're lesbians, right?
But they're not partners. They dated for a bit, and then they realized that they are too similar, and they're better business partners, and they just were like,
it's like
best
me and
friends.
You, Sarah,
I
just
know,
platonic,
exactly.
right?
It's like,
friend zoning
forever. Like the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, well, this is what we're gonna be like for forever, right? And like one is like stubborn and just says,
but just like no kissing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what this is. And so Diana Nyad is the first person to successfully complete a swim from Cuba to Florida, a distance of 110 miles.
I don't approve, but go ahead.
She did it at age 64.
That's great.
It is a story of triumph and overcoming and personal determination and will and friendship and character. It is this woman's
Sarah's reviews are way better than mine.
It's so good. I need you to see this.
I'm just like, I liked it. And you're like, this is a story of overcoming, triumph, victory.
It is all
redemption,
perseverance, and a testament to the human spirit.
Well, why do you think? I mean, I understand the physical feat of doing those things, but what is it that resonated with you?
I want to give it away, but
what? She has like
it did not take one try.
Yeah,
it did not take 2 tries.
I did read.
It did not take 3 tries. Like to do what and to put your body through that and see what the body, goes through when it swims that far. What it takes, the mental stamina, and that crazy thing, like getting stung by box jellyfish.
I know.
It's unreal. And I'm like, if this woman at 64 can do this, I suppose I could get up and take a walk around a lake.
Okay, so how do you explain her fortitude and tenacity? What is it? Did she have a trauma?
Well, so her last name is Nyad, and they made sure to reference this a lot in the film, was, oh, yes. Oh, God, it's so good. It's so sad, but it's so good. Her name means like water nymph in Greek, and her father was really big on reminding her of this is your namesake, this is your namesake. Then she started swimming. She like fell in love with I'm sure that's like where dad gave her attention, is when she was swimming. And then she was really motivated by this one swim instructor who, spoiler alert, sexually assaults her. And so I think it was like, I'm going to
overcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure. And like, it's such a good story. And
I get that. I love a sports doc. I'll pretend that's what I'm watching.
Yes. And then they also, I loved how they made this movie. First of all, Annette Bening and Jodie Foster are phenomenal in it and are like act the fuck out of it and are such good best friends. Like it's such a great portrayal of female friendship. Yeah. Of like how women are friends and the ways that we are there for each other and support each other. And it's beautiful. And then they made a big effort to say in the making of the film, they don't want anything touched up. do not edit that. Do not make, we are going as who we are. Do not edit the ads and all this and make it look like we have no wrinkles and everything. And you just see
women,
67-year-old women. And like, it's a fucking like nice break. You know, I'm like, this is really
it's refreshing.
Lovely. Yes,
against
refreshing.
Like Instagram filter face. Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah. And you're like, I felt very inspired and motivated and like, yeah, okay, this is like real. I mean, obviously, I'm not swimming 110 miles anytime soon, but that is far more motivating to me than, sorry, but like Kim Kardashian's Instagram posts and what she's selling over there.
Mm-hmm.
That 110-mile swim in a way seems more attainable than, what I'm being sold on social media.
Yeah, right. Because that has something to do with will.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this was like really, I just loved it. I really want our listeners to watch it and what I love that they did, I was going to say this before, the filmmakers used actual footage from her swims, from the real
that's
swims,
why I thought it was a documentary. I was getting confused.
And they clipped it and they edited it so it looks seamless, but you know,
I was like, you tricked me.
It's so good. And like, I have never seen anything like a human body when it gets out of the water after being in salt water for 50 hours. We look like, in a weird way, like newborn babies again, like covered in what I imagine is like zinc, but they like, there's just a layer of just, the body does weird things. The skin gets very puffy and it just takes on all that salt. Water does a lot to the body.
Like absorbed.
Yeah. And it just looked like they're almost unrecognizable. And the fact that she would keep doing it, I often think about this, like her story, when I'm just like, do I want to do this? Like, well, 64-year-old Diana Nyad did it, so I guess I could do this,
Okay, let me take a break because I know she would want this.
Yes.
What? Taking care of your health, as she would say, isn't always easy, but it should at least be simple. That's why for the last 2 years, we've been drinking AG1.
That's right.
Every darn day, no exceptions. Just one scoop mixed in water once a day, every day, makes me feel ready to take on the day.
Yeah. It creates a good foundation to build other healthy habits too. And I always say, I love how my skin is just always glowy.
AG1 delivers our daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, and more. It's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. But yeah, like Sarah said, number one, for me, it's like just, I'm very routinized.
Yes.
Every day, same darn things. But Sarah was coming in here looking all glowy and perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Now we know why.
Yep.
If there's one product we had to recommend to elevate your health, it's AG1. That's why we've been partnered with them for so darn long. If you want to take ownership of your health, start with AG1. Try AG1 and get free 1 year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/braincandy. That's drinkag1.com/braincandy. Check it out. Yes, I love a routine.
Very important.
Yeah. Wait.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go.
So when you talk about Nyad, Diana.
Yes.
It's with admiration.
Yeah. And a little bit of annoyance.
Well, yeah.
Me too. I mean, come on. Right.
I mean, but why is it so different from, I feel the same way, but why is it so different from the deepest breath free divers that we were like, stop risking, you have an addiction. How is this different? Because I really do think it must have been an addiction to keep going.
Yeah, in a way, I could definitely see the similarities. I think
it's risky.
I think she's done so much to like, I bet if you looked at the number of those free divers who are pushing themselves to the limits and the amount of people who die doing that compared to long distance swimmers,
I don't know.
Very different ratio.
How many of them are there, though, that are going from Florida to Cuba?
Yeah, but she's not doing it like, okay, bye, guys. I'll see you later. Pick me up on the shore. She's got in order to do this, that was the thing that I didn't really know until watching this film, is that and she says it when I don't want to give it away, but it's so good. I'm just going to say it. Her line when she like gets out of the water was like, I'm going to cry. She said, this may look like a solo sport, but this is really a team sport. And
that's
like
nice.
The whole story is good. The man, she had a navigator, and the man who she chose as her navigator did that as his final mission and then dies of cancer the same year. And he says, it's like one thing I want to do before I die is like follow this through. And like she had a marine biologist and jellyfish expert who like designed a special suit so she wouldn't get stung by jellyfish.
Well, that's good.
And
she
that
should have done that the first time.
Well, she didn't know that the waters had never had box jellyfish, but based on the rising temperatures because of climate change, they did.
Okay.
And they wouldn't predict that. They were like, that had never happened in those waters before. And now she had to prepare for that. So like she got all these people who were
honestly, one sting, I would have been out of there.
Oh, please. I would have been like, too cold. I'm out. Like,
yeah, right.
I'm done. And she was the first one to do it without.
What's she doing?
That's a good question. Oh, I do know. Her and Jodie Foster's character, who I really should learn the name of, started a organization that encourages older people to walk, and it's like a walking group, like fitness group. It's like
Pump Club for lesbians.
Yes, totally, 100%.
It's great.
The best. And they've just like kept doing their thing.
Okay, they're still
are inspiring,
kicking
more people to keep moving their bodies, and it's so good. I don't even remember what the question was, but it's like, why it's different.
Yeah.
Because it's not like she's going in with a death wish of like, let's see how far I could do this and pushing herself to those limits. It's very like strategic and planned, and there are safety. She's got two kayakers who are kayaking along the side. There's like a lane.
She's reasonable.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
The only thing she was unreasonable about is she said that she didn't want to do it in a shark tank, like a shark cage, because then it's like assisted, because when the cage moves with the boat, it creates like a push of the water.
Do any men do this?
I don't believe there's any man who has crossed that or attempted to cross that. I did. So I was asking Chat-GPT, like, I thought it was a very like, okay question. I said, why are women, why are women tend to be better long distance swimmers? And ChatGPT was like, not all of them are. Like, the answer I got was like,
well, actually,
yes. Let me see if I could find it. Let me see if I can find it, because I was like, there are plenty of men
that can do it.
It was like that. I was like, I said, why are women better long distance swimmers? I asked this because I remember when we read the Sports Gene, he talked in there about,
it's just a fact.
And then when I reworded the question, ChatGPT gave me the answer. I was like, the answer.
How did you have to word it?
So let me first tell you ChatGPT's answer to why are women better long distance swimmers. It is not accurate to say that women are inherently better long distance swimmers than men. While there may be some physiological differences between men and women that can influence swimming performance, such as body composition and muscle mass, individual abilities and training play a much larger role in determining success in long distance swimming. It's important to recognize that there are many exceptional long-distance male swimmers.
So they wanted you to say, like, historically, or what?
So then I asked, okay, then I said, I was like, okay, well, fine, I'll get it. I said, what percentage of long-distance swim record holders are female? And it said, I'm sorry, I don't have access to real-time records. I was like, okay, now I'm actually getting angry. Yeah. And so then I said, what are some factors that can give women an advantage in long distance swimming? It was like, Oh, okay. There are several factors that can potentially give women an advantage in long-distance swimming, such as body composition. Women generally have a higher percentage of body fat as compared to men. This we knew. Endurance. Women tend, and I didn't know this, women tend to have a higher proportion of slow twitch muscle fibers, which are more efficient for endurance activities.
Okay.
Basically, we can go longer and harder.
But how dare you ask about that?
I know. Like, I was like, I feel like if I were to word this and substitute men for women, it wouldn't give me that response. You should try that.
Like, why are men better football players? You know what I mean? Like, would it be like, how dare you? There are a lot of
I'm going to ask that right now.
Okay.
Why are men better at football?
Yeah.
Okay, well, give me a similar answer.
Well, that's ridiculous because there are no exceptions.
Right.
Name one great female football player.
Exactly. And it says both men and women have achieved great success in the sport.
They must be thinking of soccer.
They are thinking of soccer.
Okay, we need to make it.
We need to. Okay. Yeah.
NBA or NFL. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Or like, no, because they'll say that women are
American football.
Yeah, American football. Come on.
Okay, they still say they're not.
Oh, yeah, there's exceptions to that.
Please, yeah.
Who are they?
Please.
Name one.
Yeah.
What if it was like
didn't.
Jane Doe?
Yeah.
Like that's not.
Yeah, it said there are
acceptable.
Many talented female football players who have excelled in the sport. No,
can you write name one?
I'm going to say that. Name one. I'm going to say name one. Name a female that has excelled.
Wait, are we sexist? What's happening
in this sport? That is really funny.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Okay, one.
Okay.
A former college football place kicker was the first woman to score in a Division A1 college football game.
I don't need to know the first. I need the best. Because it ain't Jane Doe.
No.
I mean, I don't like that.
I'm just saying. And then when I asked Chat-GPT to give me the list of the top long-distance swimmers, 4 out of 5 of the spots were filled by women. So I was like, come on. Help. Like,
this is why, like, sometimes conservatives say that, like, the Chat-GPT or robots are woke. And this is an example of it.
I want to be like, come on, shut up. There are no females who excel. Really? In the competition, in the argument for who's the GOAT, there's a female in there?
This is pandering and condescending.
Yeah.
Like, listen.
Yeah. I'm not into it.
Well, I'll tell you who is great at cooking and baking, and that's me, but I can't take any credit because of Caraway. Yeah. I mean, Santa came to this house.
Oh, yeah?
And brought a lot of Caraway.
Oh, that's very nice.
It was very generous, very sweet, and exactly what I wanted.
Did you get the color to match?
Oh, yeah. The whole baking collection in yellow.
Oh, yeah, Suze. I love it.
I was tickled because everything you get from Caraway, you know that you'll have forever, and that it really will make a better, dessert or meal or whatever. And it's non-toxic.
Yes.
That is the real thing. It's like non-stick, but non-toxic, and it looks so cute, and they have a million colors. I just love their stuff. Obviously, we know Adam does with that tea kettle short film he made.
I love it.
Visit carawayhome.com/braincandy to take advantage of this limited time offer. They give you 10% off your next purchase. The deal is exclusive for our listeners, so visit carawayhome.com/braincandy or use code BRAINCANDY at checkout. Caraway is non-toxic cookware made modern. And I have my eye on, did you see they have like, I wish I remembered the name, but it's like this thing that holds your utensils like by your stove or whatever.
Oh, no, I love those.
But it's not like, just like, which is what I have now.
Yeah.
Everything just like right there and it's a mess. It's like elegant and streamlined. And so maybe this year I'll,
organized in the new year. Yeah.
I'm just saying. If anyone's listening, Adam.
Oh, okay. Or Sarah,
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So basically, I do think women are better swimmers, and Chat-GPT can suck it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because when they do these weird things where they won't admit the truth,
right,
then we don't get credit either.
Yeah. You know, Eli and I have a bet going, which we are going to cash in on, I believe, this summer, where I told him that in a mile swim, I would not only beat him, but
in the ocean,
slaughter him. That I would definitely outswim him in this. And
Is he what, training? What's the delay?
No, nobody's done anything. It's just because we needed maybe an ocean available, and we're planning on going on a trip on a boat this summer. So we're like, okay, that summer we'll do maybe like take the boat all the way out and be like, okay, drive from here to here, or like along the shore somewhere.
It's like a personalized
I don't think he'll make it that far. Like, I know my abilities. Drown. I also know what other people are like in the ocean. And he is so good at so many things, but nothing will beat born and raised at the beach and spent her entire childhood in the water. Like, you just can't. It's
insulting.
Beat that. And the body fat composition. And now I know some fast twitch muscles or slow twitch muscles or whatever the fuck it was.
Does he really think he stands a chance?
Yes. And then it's so funny to hear him announce this when we're with groups, because then people are like, I'm putting my money on Sarah. And I told him if he wins, I'll buy myself a mountain bike, which he's been wanting me to do for a while. And so I can go mountain bike with him. But
he can buy it. What kind of bet
I win,
is
I get $1,000. So
wait.
I'm gonna win. If I win, I get $1,000.
Oh, okay. So if he wins, you'll buy a bike.
I will buy myself a mountain bike.
This is the perfect bet.
I know.
Okay,
ideal.
Great.
And if he wins, I get $1,000. Or if I win, I get $1,000, which I will. And now I will not have to buy a mountain bike, and I'll get $1,000.
I don't even think. Okay. I mean, it's just going to be embarrassing.
I know.
Because even if he actually were, by some miracle, superior in this category, even at all.
Right.
Because she has made such a huge stink about it, she will not let him win.
Oh, no. He does not know what I'm like on a challenge. He does not know challenge Sarah.
Like, we need people there to be like, Sarah, you're actually going to drown. Like, you know how you have those safety people?
Yes, which has happened. Somebody has told me before.
I'll just do a jet ski like nearby and be like,
you have to stop because you're, I'll be like, I'm good. Keep going. I'm never stopping. Yeah. And
I'm excited about this.
Yeah. And this always happens because even like muscle mass, nutrition, and hydration, like women can hold on to that longer. Like we can last
but also the reason why we die after them. Our metabolic rate is slower.
Yes.
That's why we're fatter.
Exactly.
Statistically.
Yes.
And, body fat. But we live longer.
Right. It also says women have more of a streamlined body shape and similar frame, which can lead to improved hydrodynamics.
With his thighs, he's sinking.
Right. He's all muscle. It's like throwing a French bulldog, like a bulldog in the water. He's
exactly.
And
goner.
I'm like a Cocker Spaniel.
Do you think he'll give up, or he'll just be after you?
I think he will. I don't want to say that he'll give up, but I think that people don't know what it feels like to be in an ocean for that, like being.
Is he literally not going to do even a dress rehearsal? Because if he goes into a dress rehearsal, he'll see.
I think maybe he could do like a time, like in the pool. He would. I'm interested to see what my mile time in the pool. And the thing is, I swam in college. Like I swam a mile, like for our final. Like we had to.
Between us, if things go sideways and like you, can't do it. He like. Just keep screaming about your uterus or something like related to the surgery.
Of course. What do you think? It's already
and then he can't rub it in or anything.
Yeah, what are you going to I'll be like, I busted my internal stitches or something like that.
Well, do that.
Between us.
Don't tell anybody.
Jinx. Oh, gosh. Oh, okay. What other fun stories do I have for you today? Did you see that a 13-year-old in California became the first person to ever beat the game Tetris?
Yes, I did. I saw the video and I was so...
Oh, I'm glad you watched the video.
Enamored.
Me too. I was on the edge of my seat. And then
even though you knew the ending?
I totally knew the ending, but I also really wanted to see him experience that.
Yeah.
And that was, this kid played for 10 hours straight.
I didn't know how long.
10 hours it took. So this is interesting. How the quote unquote like end of Tetris, if you get to the end of Tetris, what you get to is you get to what they call like a kill page, like it's a part of the game where the computer that was built at the time this game came out, the actual game itself is going so fast that the computer does not know the difference between the gameplay and like the RAM or whatever.
Wow.
So it confuses the two. It like
That's
glitches
insane.
And it'll freeze.
That's insane.
It is insane. Like it's if you watch the video, this is going so fucking fast. I mean, I've gotten up to level like, I don't know, maybe 30 or something, and I feel like I'm going to have a stroke for
10 hours though, and that's after like 10 minutes.
Yes, I was thinking that. I'm like, this kid is going to see falling blocks for the rest of his life. Have you ever had that after you play Tetris? You look everywhere you look. Like tile floors are a problem after I played Tetris, like on an airplane. I remember, I think it was Delta that had like those little game consoles that you could like play on the back of your seat. And they would have Tetris on there, and I would always play. I remember my ex-husband got so mad when I was beating him over and over and over. I was
very
an
healthy
ADHD
relationships
brain is very good
with
at
the
Tetris.
Competition in the
this could be a me this may be I may
see a
be
common
inviting
thread.
inviting this but.
Well, and I will say there was another person that you were with that I witnessed this with in a pool.
Oh yeah,
a competition. You just can't. You love it. You can't resist.
Did I win in that pool competition?
Listen, I don't know.
Oh,
I get so like, I'm like, I don't like it because I'm competitive in life, but not in games like that.
Yeah. It's like,
you're like,
things where I know I can win. I'm like, I'm fucking murdering.
You get very confident. That's why, Sarah, this is what I'm trying to crack with you whenever we talk in real life. That's what I'm trying to.
Past experience and success. I have evidence of crushing people.
I'm saying tap into that more often.
Yeah, I should do that.
Outside of just stupid parlor games.
Yeah, that's right. I do need to do that.
But wait a minute. This Tetris thing.
Oh, yeah.
I had read that he, up until him.
Yeah. Yes.
Only computers succeeded in this. And
so there was
wouldn't that
an
be
AI
because you have to pee?
Well,
like when did he go to the bathroom?
I don't think he did.
Right. He's just going.
He didn't.
He shut off his body.
Another thing that I think as a therapist and as somebody who cares about, and maybe like even you who likes to ask like, but why? And that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. He recently lost his father. His dad passed away. So I think that this was a way to escape.
Like therapeutic.
Yes. I think that games serve a good purpose and helping with that. And
he seems like a real sweetheart.
Real sweetheart.
Yeah.
And and in beating the game, he also broke 3 other world records for the game as well. And it's really cute to see how excited, like this little 13-year-old,
you can tell he's humble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I can't breathe. I think I'm having a heart attack.
Yeah,
I was like, I think I'm having a heart attack.
I can't feel my fingers. I bet after 10 hours.
10 hours, right. And so I was just thinking, in writing this episode and thinking about what I was talking about today, I was like, wow, you got this kid who's like diehard nonstop, will not stop playing the video game. And I can imagine that wasn't his first try.
Right. Right.
He maybe was a little Diana Nyad about his approach.
Yeah, same difference, really.
Right?
I wouldn't want to do either thing.
Yeah, I also would say, like, chances are good this kid has ADHD.
Yeah, maybe.
You
have gifts.
It's like game recognized
You're
game.
Like, I get it. Yeah.
I definitely I called myself out of school for like 3 days to beat Tony Hawk Pro Skater when I got that game when I was like 13 years old, 14 years old. And I was like, Sarah's sick. She can't come in today. Yes, I'm her mother. Bye. And did that.
So classic.
Yeah. And like I don't think anything would get me out of that hyper fixation.
I know what would, and that is the smell of wild grain bread baking in your oven. You'd be like, game over.
I could go for a whole loaf right now.
You said it.
I want that. You know what one I love is like, it's kind of like an everything bagel.
That's what I said. Everything sourdough.
I got that. I got it. It's the best one. That avocado toast with the poached egg on top and pickled red onions.
Honestly.
And feta cheese. Sprinkle some feta cheese. That was the one
that I said. I made homemade tomato soup with our garden tomatoes. And then I made grilled cheese with that everything sour. And it was like, people need to be standing O right now because this is outstanding.
Oh my gosh, yum.
Wild grain bread, pastas, pastries, they come frozen to your door.
Yeah.
Then you pop them in and they are ready in minutes, 20 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that, depending on what you're making.
Yeah.
Fresh, like bakery level stuff.
With that hard, crunchy outside, but then soft.
Remember the Vegemite
inside?
crunch?
I can hear it now. I'm so hungry. I need lunch.
And now you can fully customize your wild grain box. You get any combination of breads, pastas, and pastries you like. If you want a box of all bread, pasta, or pastry, you can have it. Plus, for a limited time, you get $30 off your first box. Plus, free croissants in every box when you go to wildgrain.com/braincandy to start your subscription. You heard us. Free croissants in every box and $30 off your first box when you go to wildgrain.com/braincandy. That's wildgrain.com/braincandy. Or you can use promo code braincandy at checkout.
Yes. So yeah, you were talking about how there was like an AI that did it. There was an AI that was developed by, I don't know who it was, but it was like basically like a Tetris designed to, it was called like Blockbuster or something like that. It was like designed to play the game of Tetris.
Wow.
And I think because of the speed at which the AI was moving, it must have registered it different, or because when it did that, when the AI did it, it got up to level 237 before hitting that kill zone.
That's weird.
Then there was a bunch of research that was done on that kill page, and it was found that by humans, if a human plays or at that speed, it would be level 155 where that would become first available. And then you could see him as he's playing the game. He gets there and he goes, "Oh, I missed it." And then like goes into this little panic. And then he ends up clearing the right amount of lines or what he's supposed to at level 157. So 2 levels after what research has said would be the kill, quote unquote, kill page or whatever they call it. But yeah.
I mean,
that's unbelievable. Go from here, though? A part of me is like, I hope this kid has a therapist. Oh, does he need me? Can I be his therapist?
Aww.
I feel like.
Do you think he was doing this every day, all day?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And you know how like there's something that happens when you hit a goal.
Yeah.
Where it becomes like, what do I do now? This feeling you hear this even with like Cheryl Strayed did a really good, I think it was either Cheryl Strayed or it was the woman who wrote I think it was the woman who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, who did a TED Talk.
Yeah, Elizabeth Gilbert.
Yeah, on being a writer who has
she did.
Yeah, that was it. And
Writer's
it was so interesting to hear somebody honestly speak about what it's like and the thoughts that you have and feelings around the expectations or things that come from having success or
I see this with influencers and all their babies that they feel like they have to keep having to like have new content.
Oh.
And reality people.
Oh.
Like it is chasing the wind for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm sure this kid, he'll find a new challenge because it seems like if you beat Tetris, your brain might be designed to do.
Yeah, that's true. He probably is. you know, I just watched that video for maybe 5 minutes, and I had the Tetris theme song stuck in my head for at least a few hours afterwards. Like,
yeah, I'm sure it does have an effect.
Yeah.
Like, well, like I recently read an article about the person that had the Guinness World Book of Records for staying up the longest.
No,
like 11
that
days.
Is not.
Yeah.
Bad.
And how like afterwards he slept for like 14 hours at the hospital, you know, for observation, but then for decades later had health consequences.
Oh,
like it's not immediate, you know? Yeah.
That was even one of the things that they said in the Naiad film, that what happens after you've been doing that, and I think it was something like 300,000 repetition, like arm, like strokes that she had to take. That what that and
what that does to your joint or something.
Not seeing anything for that long. Remember we were talking about the tunnels and the people who were super crazy and ran the marathon in the tunnel?
Yeah, the human brain isn't designed for this sort of thing.
You will begin to hallucinate. And she began to hallucinate. And one of the things that she tells her coach, and what the coach says is, if she starts to hallucinate, just go with the hallucination. Whatever she sees, we're just going to go with it.
What's she seeing?
So she's swimming and she's like, the Taj Mahal, it's beautiful. And her coach is like, yep. Swim towards the Taj Mahal, follow the yellow brick road. Let's go. Like, just whatever. Like, she's like, yeah, just swim right towards that Taj Mahal. Let's go.
How long did it take for that to happen?
What, before
she was
hallucination
operating on
sets
no
in?
Yeah,
she's like 56 hours plus of, I think it's at about like 50.
But not just no sleep. It was also with Olympic level.
Physical. Yeah. You're fighting the currents and then
some people are just different. I'm telling you.
They are different.
And it's not like we can all dig deep and then...
Right. When I was in Mexico and we were learning how to kite surf or kiteboard, whatever the hell you're supposed to call it, I still am not sure. The instructor was saying one of the things that he recognized that Eli and I both had, and there was a word in Spanish for it, but he said in English it translates loosely to like a stubbornness that will make you persist until you've learned something, but it's like a positive. It's more positive. It's almost like, they're so like bullheaded or stubborn that it's like that.
This is true of every trait. Every trait in the world has a good side and a bad side.
Yeah.
I was just telling Sarah before we recorded how I am really great at big picture thinking and efficiency. I will get so much done in a small amount of time. It annoys me how unproductive people are. But I will, in haste, in pursuit of the efficiency, make really obvious, horrific mistakes with like booking flights, booking hotels, scheduling. And I'll think, what kind of a moron? But it's just
so hard on
there's
yourself
a flip side to every strength. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. And I was telling her, I get so caught up in the details of making sure, like, is this going to work? I don't know. I can't be sure that I don't ever make the plan, and I will be stuck in that decision-making process for fucking ever, that nothing will happen.
Yeah. Like one person's stubbornness is another person's grit.
Yeah.
And perseverance.
Yeah. In certain categories, for sure. That is it. The grit and the perseverance. And I think both this little kid and Diana Naiad and everybody around her had.
I mean, sounds like, but as you pointed out with the deepest breath or whatever, is addiction can become a wild card element where they just are fixated on whatever chemical they're getting.
There were definitely moments where I bet anybody watching, and I bet she herself would say she was selfish, that there were some moments that where
maybe she hurt somebody or
like prioritize, not seeing how it affected other people, or even just putting yourself at risk like that, like what that does for the people who are coaching you and training you. And it's like, it's so moving. I would want to give both of them, like best actress, best supporting.
I am forgetting now what it was. but I was watching something along these lines of someone who was like determined. Oh, it was a documentary that I'll talk about in another episode, but of a guy who was like traveling the world, blah, blah, blah. And afterwards I was like, who was paying for that?
Oh, yeah.
And so in this case, who's paying for Diana?
She makes they talk about that too, is that you have to get sponsors. So she's calling, and a big part of this is like selling yourself and pitching yourself to sponsors. So she's like on the phone with Tampax and is like, like whatever. Like,
did they go for it?
Some people did. Like
Tampax,
it's I don't know if it was Tampax, but it was some like, she's like, let's think about all of the,
like
women.
You do the swimsuit or the
and you hear her just on the phone with just like selling herself to whoever will buy at whatever cost.
Somebody's bankrolling all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like personal riches, independent wealth. And then other times it's like sponsors. And then other times it's question mark. And you're like, what is behind this?
I do feel like she came from money though. The way that it's like the way that they portray her father in this, and he's like a businessman who's like, putting his daughter in like the elite swim school. Like it feels like there's somebody could financially back.
I mean, that's usually how these things go.
Yeah.
Like you have amazing talent, but also you had resources.
Yeah.
I'm starting to hate her.
Yeah. You have to say it.
All right, I will. Because since I started it and everything, I was like, wait a minute.
Right. You got to. Okay. Other story that is, what do I want to talk about? Oh, there's so many things.
It's so hard.
I know. Okay. Let's talk about this one. Did you see that Mickey Mouse, the Steamboat Willy is now public domain?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to then learn about public domain and what that means. And I was like, why?
Wait.
And then Mickey Mouse wasn't the first one to do it. Winnie the Pooh became public domain last year. Then that was why there was that weird ass horror film, slasher film with it.
Yes, that's right. Things go real weird, real fast. And now the day that the Mickey Mouse.
The day.
Yeah.
So do you think people are just sitting on that stuff?
Yeah.
So they make it.
Creators?
And then, yeah. So like they make the content or make the film or whatever that has Mickey Mouse in it, and then they don't release it until...
Yeah, because there's a big wait. Everyone knows when things are expiring.
Right.
You don't, because what do you care?
Right, I don't care.
But people do. Yeah. And they are like, this is an opportunity.
And Disney, I learned Disney has been fighting for the extension of these public domain like the years before something becomes public domain, like holding on to the trademark and all that stuff for it as long as possible. And they had called it like the Disney clause or like the Disney something because they're it's really because of, which is so fucked up because Disney doesn't have a goddamn original idea. I mean, Pixar, I'll give you that. But The Lion King is like Hamlet. Little Mermaid, I'm sorry. You did not invent that. That was Hans Christian Andersen. Wasn't it? Yes.
I think that
Alice in Wonderland, Lewis Carroll.
Would argue
everything is borrowed from them. But don't take our mouse. Sorry.
But I don't think that the laws anticipated a brand that would be so valuable for so long.
Right.
So I think their argument is this wasn't what it was meant for.
Right. And then the article I was reading I said why I was, looking into like why this is so important. Like why is it that we have this public domain thing? And what it can look like is it begins to look like tax law of like control over property and things that no one entity should have control over something that's so limiting for so long. And the, all the research and evidence shows that when things become public domain, it's better for creativity as a whole because it allows the
for the record, I am on the side of regulation. I'm not on the side of business capitalism. Maintenance. Yeah. I am on the side of time's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't get right.
You had a good run. Congratulations.
It's very confusing to me though, because there's still like trademark and other laws around profiting off of it. Like I don't understand how it works.
Let's be clear. Okay, let's look at it this way.
Yeah. Good.
When you file for bankruptcy, all your credit cards are like poof, bye-bye, debt.
Okay. Yeah.
What is excluded from that is when you owe the government money. So the government lets you not pay back all these businesses, but you still have to pay back your student loans. There is no way to get out of that besides death.
Right.
And so it's like that, where trademark and copyright and licensing is Byzantine. It's designed that way on purpose. Yeah. It's designed to make you give the government money to apply for things or fight for things. And it's sort of like when you sue someone, the people that benefit are the attorneys usually.
Right. Oh my God.
Yeah. So like that part is just because it benefits the government, but like the other part is supposedly to benefit the public, like public domain.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. I don't think anyone's owned the right to that.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. And something becomes part. I never really. I feel like there's so much gray area because it's like Saturday Night Live can do a parody of it, and some people can do and
that's free speech.
Andy Warhol can do like pop art recreations of Campbell's soup cans.
Not always.
Right. I don't get it. It's so confusing.
Yeah.
So now Steamboat Willy is available, and
right.
What's going to happen? And
so now
people are making horror films and doing weird shit with Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. It's something. I don't know why, like as much as I love so many things that Disney has done, I'm also kind of for like, throw a wrench in their shit. Well, yeah, because you're a liberal. Yeah, I like so that. You are, you would historically be anti-business. Yeah. Fuck or big business. Yeah. Fuck them all. Well, and they historically have gone after just the smallest of people. Right. Like I remember there was a daycare or something that had just a mural that they hand painted with Mickey, and then they got a cease and desist. And that, what are you gonna do? There is no fight too small. Walt will find you. Okay. Well, good. I'm excited to see what will happen. What Steamboat Willy gets up to this year. But I remember I saw the list of things that expired, and then I couldn't get, I have earworms. I couldn't get Making Whoopee out of my head. What's Making Whoopee? That song? It's all the song. I know is the one from Another Bride, Another Groom, Another Something, Honeymoon. Another reason, another season for making whoopee. Yeah. I guess the original recording or whatever. And I was like, well, that's great. And then that was 7 days of that song. I want to look into this of what kind of things are becoming public domain. Now I can see myself going down that rabbit hole for a while. Right. That sounds fun. Yeah. Okay. I have a few more things. One that I just have to talk about because it's coming to theaters, and I'm like, well, I'm definitely not seeing that. Did you see they're making a thriller movie called ISS, International Space Station? No. I was like, the actual location of all of my nightmares? That really is a horror movie for you. And it is a horror. It's like a thriller. It's actually a horror movie? Yes, it's about oh my gosh, this movie's coming out where, people are stationed ISS, and then war breaks out on Earth, and you see the explosions from the space station. And so the U.S. government contacts the U.S. people on there and is like, it's us against them. And the Russians or Chinese or whoever calls them and is like,
It does get, and they're trying to say like, we're scientists, we're above it all, we're like about peace on here, and
I kind of love it.
I know. I'm like, I'm gonna have to see it, then I'm only gonna have nightmares about this for forever.
It sounds like it's not the kind of thing that you're afraid of, like being trapped out there floating around or something.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
So
but
maybe
if
that's
I'm on
okay.
a space station and then I didn't consider that there's nuclear war.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Come back? There was
You can't come back. Right, you're stuck there for
actual-
forever. For what do you do? You're dead.
That's an actual problem because when the USSR disassembled,
Yeah.
collapsed,
Yeah.
there was a USSR astronaut in space. And his return was delayed for like months or more.
See? This is the thing. Like, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah. I forget how long, but it was months and months. And he was just floating
nightmare
around.
fuel. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is terrifying. So I saw that preview and I was like, oh, everybody, the only people who know about this are my podcast people. So I have to talk about this. Then
we gotta wind it down. What are you and alling about?
Oh, I know. We got to wind it down. We'll save it for next time.
Oh, what is it?
Just more.
Is it something great?
Because we were sticking with the theme of space. A lot of information about the moon.
Okay. Yeah, we'll save it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
do
because
wanna
one
know
fact will
about
just
that.
lead to another. It will be too much. It's a whole thing.
You keep going down these rabbit holes.
I know. This is what happens. This is why I'm losing sleep.
We're not starting off the year on a peaceful trend, but that's all right.
That's all right.
Maybe it'll be exciting.
Yeah, we're going to switch our mindset to we're in wonder about all of these things.
We're stretching.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
definitely check out that film, Naiad.
I mean, all right.
I know you're Susie.
it
I think
does. It
Lincoln will
looks
like
good.
it too.
Really?
Yes, it
I
is
doubt it.
appropriate.
Okay. It's
Yes.
appropriate.
It's a whole family, fun for the whole family.
Okay.
When I watched it, I was mad I didn't watch it sooner.
Oh my gosh.
I resisted for a long time.
All right. And then we're mad at Chat-GPT.
Yes, and women are better swimmers. The end.
What are you doing? Stop being woke. Stop making me sound like a conservative
Right. Yeah.
out of nowhere.
There's differences between men and women.
But 3 cheers for the kid who beat Tetris.
Yeah, really cute.
30 years in the making or whatever. I mean, how long's that game been out?
Oh, Suze.
40?
1984, I think.
40
1980.
years.
Yeah.
That is no joke.
God, that's 40 years.
40 years.
Oy. Yeah.
That's a long time.
I thought it would say when it started, but no. But I think it's something about that. We're going to go with 1984.
Yeah.
What do I know? Nothing.
But Steamboat Willy, have at it.
Have at
Have
it.
fun, everybody, with that.
Mm-hmm. Make some fun cartoons. Everybody just always goes to horror and porn.
Yeah, why?
I don't know.
Why couldn't they be artistic?
Right. Just like a nice still life. Mickey
That'd
with
be
fruit.
funny.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. Maybe
All
I
right,
will.
everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.